my trick for making sure you can get your foot through the colorwork section. We happen to cross the iconic Brooklyn Bridge. Hello, I'm Zanete. I am the designer behind Zanete Knits, and welcome to another one of my pattern deep dives. This time it's on a pair of socks called the Brooklyn Memory Socks. It's a pattern that's coming out very soon, and in this video I'll cover the inspiration, the gauge, yarn and needles that I used, the sizing that's available in the pattern, as well as a construction and all the techniques used and some possible customization options. This is our 8th addition to the Memory Sock collection, and it's a tribute to our day trip to Brooklyn during our visit to Vogue Knitting Live this January. In that day trip, we visited a few sites, including the Brooklyn General Store, and we happened to cross the iconic Brooklyn Bridge, which is the most prominent feature that I've tried to include in the sock, but to pack as much of the Brooklyn spirit in these socks as possible. We're of course using yarn that we bought there, and it is yarn from a Little Fox Viscon in colorway Whisker, and that's the main color, and the contrast color is from Spincycle dyed in the wool, and it's the Brooklyn General Store exclusive colorway called Noctuidi or Noctuidi, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's a hell of a colorway because there's so many different colors. You wouldn't even think it's the same colorway. No skein are the same, and I admit that I did have to do a little bit of color management to make sure that they are in the same brightness level, and also to make sure that there's always enough contrast between the main color and the contrast color so that all the intricacies of the pattern stand out. The gauge is 32 stitches and 38 rows in a 10 by 10 centimeters or 4 by 4 inches square of color work worked in the round after blocking. And to obtain that gauge, I needed to use 2.25 millimeter needle. That is US size 1, I believe. And the pattern comes in 3 sizes. The size is based on your foot circumference, and it's designed to be worn with 0 to a little bit of negative E so that it fits snugly around your foot. And the finished foot circumference for the smallest size is 17.5 centimeters, that's 7 inches. And for the largest of the 3 sizes, it is 22.5 centimeters, and that is 9 inches. And now on to the most interesting part about the sock is the construction and all the techniques that are used. This is a toe-up sock, so we started at the toe. We cast on the stitches using Judy's Magic Cast On, but you could substitute with Turkish Cast On if that's easier. And then we go into the first choice you need to make. Either you are doing a traditional trapezoid toe, or the option that I've chosen to do in my sample is the anatomical toe. Which is one side, the toe, big toe side is slightly smaller, and all the rest of the toes larger. So that's called the anatomical toe shape. And I've included that in this pattern because there's no color work in the foot. Then you work the foot straight to where a next interesting feature starts, the sole gusset. So we're creating a little triangle here to increase the circumference to accommodate the foot arch, and we're using lifted increases for the toe as well as for the gusset. You can see here. But of course, if lifted increases aren't your jam, you can substitute any increases as long as you keep the direction, the direction of the increase as in the pattern. Once we have done the full gusset, we shape the heel using short rows to create this half moon shape at the top of the heel here. The pattern instructs to use Japanese short rows, but again, any short row method can be substituted. And after the short rows are finished, we get to work a slip stitch heel. That's a reinforced heel pattern. We work that flat back and forth at the same time decreasing the stitches that we added for the gusset to get back to the leg circumference. And here's my trick for making sure you can get your foot through the colorwork section. There are more stitches in the leg than there were in the foot because the leg does have color work, and usually color work has less of a give and it's harder to get your heel through the colorwork section. To avoid the foot being too loose, we simply add more stitches in the leg. And we start the colorwork. It's a very simple 8-stitch repeat. I can't say it's very intuitive. You still have to look at the chart. You can't really guess what's happening, but a lot of the rows repeat themselves, so it's very straightforward to do. And the leg length is infinitely adjustable, as you could start the colorwork later or start the ribbing sooner. Anything goes. And then we get to the second decision that you need to make is what type of ribbing you would like. I've really enjoyed working with this contrast color. I like how it's marled in places and how the colors are changing. So I used the contrast color to do a bit of corrugated ribbing and finished with the contrast color. This is twisted ribbing, 1x1 twisted ribbing. But there's also an option to just continue plain using the main color. And when you're happy with the length of your cuff, I'm suggesting to use tubular bind off for 1x1 rib, but any stretchy bind off is a good option here. The pattern is coming out on Wednesday the 26th of June. If you're a newsletter subscriber, watch out for your exclusive discount code. If not, and you're watching this before then, there's still time to subscribe. And that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be on this top that I'm wearing.